Aloha everybody, what's going on my dudes? Welcome to another RuneScape news coverage video. For this video we're going to talk about remasters coming to RuneScape, how that's defined and what it means going forward. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video, let's go.
Jagex is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, this is stuff that Jagex has talked about in the latest live stream. They go into detail, explaining what they mean with reworks, how they plan on implementing them, and what they mean for the future of RuneScape. First and foremost, I want to define what Jagex means by reworks, or remasters. So essentially what they want to do is they want to take everything that you love about the old content that they're remastering and put it in a new form. This means with new content added to it and new goals for people to achieve. For example, if they were to remaster God Wars Dungeon 1, it would have all the familiar generals that you know of, all those bosses, Groudar, etc., with new mechanics, as well as a bunch of new rewards. Maybe there's a tier 92 God Sword that you can get, in a similar vein to how you can get the current God Swords, as well as new chases for you to aim for, things like maybe introducing an elite dungeon that is God Wars theme, maybe a new quest, or even new skilling content introduced within the area. Maybe there's a specific ore you need to make the tier 92 swords, or whatever. That's the kind of idea. Now the kind of things that they do want to remaster are things like, the ZMI altar for runecrafting. Make it worthwhile, introduce a, high level experience, still have that sense of danger when you're runecrafting, maybe the random elements of creating runes that you're not particularly after, keeping the core elements of it, or remastering something like the city of Varrock. Maybe making the yew trees behind the Varrock castle be some kind of new good wood cutting spots for you to train the skill, seeing as it was a very popular spot way back in the day, chopping down the yew trees behind Varrock Castle. That's the kind of idea that they want to go forward with these remasters. Now there are some things that they don't really care to remaster and don't feel that will benefit from this new format, things like the familiarization D&D, generally things that they are okay with either letting go or not really touching. For example, mobilizing armies and rat pits got removed not that long ago, simply because they felt, it's not worth really reinvesting into that content, it's best to let it go. Those are some of the things that, won't be looked at or considered for things like reworks or remasters. Now, when it comes to remastering skills, it's a little different. A lot of people were concerned because in the latest year around survey, they kind of coupled some of the 120s with the remasters, and ultimately people felt like, yes, they wanted a remaster in some of these skills, but not necessarily pushing the skill to 120. Jagex did say in the latest live stream that just because they want to remaster some of these skills does not necessarily mean they want to push it to 120. It means they can, but they're not married to the idea of coupling those two together. They said the first and foremost priority is, does the skill need a rework? If it does, then that is the aim of the update, not necessarily pushing it to 120, although they see places or skills specifically that can be pushed to 120 and would benefit from it. Again, it's not a priority when we're talking about skill reworks. That said, if they do plan on adding any 120s into the game, or increasing a skill to 120 rather, there are several checkpoints that they know that they want to meet based on the feedback they've got from previous things like that, namely 120 Slayer, and that is 1. Content unlocks on every level, 2. New ways to train the skill, 3. Key milestones, think of things like overloads for Herblore, and 4. Some form of grace period for any achievements related to the skill for anybody who wants to maintain cape or whatever may have you. So there you have it. Ultimately, another big goal with all this is to make sure that there's really no dead content in the game. In fact, Mod Timbo on stream made the bold claim that they will no longer release any more dead content, which honestly I don't think anybody truly believes, but we can see or watch them at least try to fulfill this. But who knows? They don't necessarily have the best of track records with this particular type of thing, so we'll see how this plays out. That said, it pretty much wraps up everything regarding the remasters or the reworks in terms of the latest live stream. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys watching. I am out. Aloha.